Welcome to the launch of the Free to Be Free portal. I'm Julia Ananda, your joyous host for spiritual content. I'm here with dear friend and mystic, Margaret Claire. She'll be bringing us insights and symbology on the upcoming full moon on Saturday, April 12th. Margaret, thank you so much for being here together with me.
Thank you, Julia. So nice to be here with you. And I'm really excited for the information that's going to be coming through today and, for being able to share in this way together and with whoever out there wants to be listening. So upcoming, we have, of course, a full moon in Libra on April 12th, and it is exact at 8:22 p.m. Eastern time. So you want to just, if you want to, tap into the energy of this and really utilize it in some way, either through some kind of little ceremony or just have an awareness of it. That's what time it's exact. But anytime up, from the days coming up to the full moon and a couple days after, just holding the awareness of that energy, because these planetary energies are just so powerful for us if we bring them into our conscious awareness. So the first thing that I just want to say about the full moon, most people actually, a lot of people now pay attention to the new moons and the full moons. And I love that that's happening in our world. It's really exciting to me because, it's helping us to attune once again, to the natural rhythms, and sometimes our really busy lives don't allow us that. The full moon is very much about fulfillment, right? It's when the light is the fullest. It's about illumination. It's about finding and gaining clarity on whatever it is we've intended for ourselves, and it's a time to reflect and transmute and transform things and to release. Yeah, these are all, some people put the emphasis on release in full moon. Some people put the emphasis on sort of manifesting, but things come to light and they come into form at the full moon. The full moon will be at 24 degrees of Libra. Okay, Libra energies, relating, harmony, relationships, balance, learning, diplomacy, reflection, graciousness, everything having to do with relationships and those kinds of things. That's Libra. Like, how do we learn through our interactions and our relationships? And the sun, of course, is opposite the moon at a full moon. Every full moon, the sun is opposite the moon. And so the sun will be at 24 degrees of Aries. And Aries is very fiery. It's the warrior. It's the individual. It's the ram, right? It's a very strong and fiery energy. And the Sabian symbol for the moon at 24 degrees of Libra is a butterfly with an extra left wing. Okay, a butterfly with a third wing on its left side. Then the symbol for the sun in Aries is blown inward by the wind. A curtain is shaped like a cornucopia. Okay, so we'll get into the meanings and just sort of interpretations of this as we go along. And then I also want to bring into this, and I'll probably want to bring this in almost every time we look at these kinds of energies, and that is the gene key that's associated with the sun at that time. Now, if you're not familiar with the gene keys, I highly recommend. If you're not familiar with the Sabian symbols, I also highly recommend looking into it further, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a little introduction to that. So the gene keys are a beautiful wisdom transmission, and of course they're associated with the human genome. So there's 64 of them, and each one of them has a shadow keynote, a gift keynote, and a Siddhi keynote, Siddhi, so an enlightenment keynote. Okay, and so for this, for the period from April 10th through the 16th, it's the gene key 42, which moves from the shadow of expectation to the gift of detachment and the Siddhi of celebration. Which I just thought they're all really, really wonderful energies to tap into that for this full moon. So diving into this a little bit, I want to look at the energy of just the astrological chart in general, just show you the chart so that you can visualize it that way. Here we have the chart of the full moon, and sort of ignore the houses and so forth. If you're familiar with astrology, this was drawn up for where I live in Oregon, but you can look at where this Libra moon is, where this 24 degrees of Libra is in your own chart. And notice in this chart that this moon is all by itself, and most everything else besides this opposition between Pluto and Mars are on the other side of that chart. Of course, the sun is exactly opposite it, and it is conjunct Chiron at 24 degrees. Now, the sun is our essence, right? It's our life force. And in Aries, it is really wanting new beginnings for ourselves, right? It really, as we came into Aries season, we are, it's the spring equinox is when we move into Aries. And so it really is this opening of new beginnings, of seeds starting to sprout, right? Of the first flowers starting to bloom. And conjunct Chiron here, Chiron is the wounded healer teacher archetype. And it is working with us in Aries right now with the collective to really come into a space of self-esteem and self-assurance, right? It deals with our greatest wounds, and then those wounds eventually turn into our greatest healing gifts. Okay, so just that in itself, I'm not doing a full astrology reading here. I'm just doing a symbology reading, so I won't go much farther than that into this energy. But I just wanted you to see how this energy is all, if you look at it, it's all pointing towards this full moon. Talk a little bit about the Sabian symbol that is associated with this full moon. So the butterfly with a third wing on its left side, just feeling into that energy. Butterflies are always about the energy of, they're a symbol of transformation, right? They're a symbol of moving from one state to another. And I really feel like this energy, that's really strong coming in, that the energy of that kind of a transformation that is coming in, and that's the potential for new and unusual forms and unusual and new opportunities for, spiritual growth and spiritual awareness, because that's also, that's very symbolic. The butterfly is very symbolic of that. And the Trinity, has, of course, just many, many different resounding associations with it. And so that butterfly is suggestive, to me, is suggestive of a collective evolutionary leap. And in order for that to happen, right, we have to be balanced. Like, this is Libra. So this full moon with this kind of a Sabian symbol is saying, how can I become clear? How can I open up space? What can I release? What can I let go of that's going to allow for that kind of a quantum leap or evolutionary leap or spiritual, jump to occur? So this potential for some kind of a new form or a new beginning or new expression of self, right? Is here in the energy of this full moon. And I talking about the gene key, or bringing that into the mix. When we have expectations of something particular, like this is where a lot of people, I think, get tripped up when they're trying to manifest, or they're trying to make something happen. They have these really specific expectations about how that might occur. And those expectations are actually, that expectation is really a shadow frequency, because we can hold the energy of what we want to have happen. But if we're too specific without the knowing what that energy is, then it's a shadow. It's saying we want it this way. It's my way or the highway. And this energy is not about that. It's about what is the potential. What potential do I have? And what potential do we have collectively? Okay, because this is a collective energy. The full moon is affecting all of us. It happens pretty much, at the same time. It happens once a month for all of us. And so some of us may be unconscious of that, and never think about that, but it's still affecting us somehow. But if we tap into it and utilize that energy consciously, with the aim, general aim of evolution, spiritual evolution in mind, wow, what are the potentials? What could possibly happen there, right? And so just reminding us that we can utilize these energies to make little or big transformations in our lives. And this is a very beautiful portal for that kind of thinking and that kind of intending. When we are able to detach from the specific outcome and just hold maybe the Siddhic frequency of celebration, like, I know what it feels like, what I want to have. I know what it feels like, the energy of what I'm trying to actualize in my life. I know what it feels like. I know I can kind of tell what it feels like. And so, but I don't have to be attached to those specifics that I might have dreamed up to begin with, right? So detachment says, I'm willing to let go and be guided and allow that guidance to come in. I'm willing to let go and trust in the wisdom, the divine wisdom of the universe that says, I've got your back and we're in this together, and look at what is unfolding in front of you, right? That's the energy of detachment. And it says, whatever happens, whether I deem it good or bad or right or wrong, or, pretty or ugly, or whatever words, whatever dualistic words we want to put to it, right? I can trust that the universe has my back, and that I can detach from that outcome. Okay? And then celebration, that energy of celebration, right? Like become excited about that potential and about it already unfolding, and celebrate our lives as they are right now, right? And celebrate the coming of whatever beautiful potentiality is trying to knock at our door right now. So now, looking at the opposite side of this, with the sun at 24 degrees of Aries, that energy of opposition causes us to get better at one of those energies. So if that opposing Aries energy, which is very much about the self, and the Libra energy is very much about ourselves in relationships, so ourself and others, right? Then then if we focus all our energy on improving ourselves, eventually it will have an impact on our relationships, right? We'll be better people in our relationships. Or if we focus our energy on being the best possible person in a relationship, having kindness and gentleness in our interactions, being able to see both points of view, then that also has the effect of empowering the self, right? Because the feedback that we will get through that relationship is very positive. And let's look at this in terms of the Sabian symbol for 24 degrees of Aries. The wind blows a curtain inward and it forms the shape of a cornucopia. Okay? So the curtain forms the shape of a cornucopia. You can feel that, right? Like that, it's like a beautiful energy. So the first thing that always comes to mind, no matter whose interpretation I'm reading or whatever it is, but that first impulse for me is spirit inhabiting the body. Like spirit, beautiful spiritual energies coming in and enlivening the body, right? And so it really has this energy of allowing ourselves to be shaped by spirit, to be shaped to be inspired, right? Because the wind is also the air, the inspiration, right? And so allowing ourselves then to be shaped that way. And it has the shape of a cornucopia, which is all of the fruits of life, right? All of the fruits of life being displayed. And so it's a beautiful symbol of abundance as well. Okay, and so these are really, really positive and beautiful energies to work together. And if you think about it, because both the sun, our essence, our life force, our spirit, and the Chiron, our greatest healing gifts, our wounds, and the bringer of our self-confidence and self-assurance and self-esteem, right? All of those things together, with this symbol surrounding it, with that energy. This is this is what I love about the Sabian symbols, is they distill it into this beautiful picture. So these two Sabian symbols and the Aries and Libra energies in opposition to each other, but in this beautiful way working together, can give us some clues to how we might align ourselves with the energy of the full moon. And yeah, I want to speak to that just for a moment, because it doesn't have to be complicated. Just recognizing that the full moon, or the moon itself, regulates the tides on the planet, and it regulates also the tides within all bodies of water, including the human body of water. and so when we have a symbol like this, just recognizing it's a Libra full moon, so we might want to look at our relationships. It could be relationships in any area of our life. It could be our intimate relationships. It could be our relationships in our work environment, in our social environment. It could be our relationships to animals, to the planet, to nature. It could be our relationship to our habits, good and bad, or helpful and non-helpful, and imagine ourselves as that beautiful butterfly, as an unusual and unique butterfly, right? That's an unusual and unique butterfly to have a second wing, left wing. And it's left wing, so I see it as this intuitive energy as well, right? It's like this, again, pointing towards spirit. And utilizing the energy of the sun, because the sun, right, it is our life force, it's our essence. Everything lives because of the energy of the sun. And so utilizing that symbol of the cornucopia, and it is the light of the sun that is being reflected off of that moon, right? So using that as a time of reflection and letting go of whatever is no longer needed. So I hope this was helpful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sharing your expertise, your decades of experience, and your intuition in bringing us information about the energies of the upcoming full moon. It's so enlightening to be able to notice the energies once we've heard you talk about them, right? So that we're more apt to notice the energies and to help us calibrate ourselves to, as you say, the highest aspects of those energies. And I also want to mention to our audience that this is our first publication that we're putting out into the community, the Free to Be Free portal community. And we're so excited to do this on the week of the full moon and embrace that Siddhi of celebration. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Please hit the subscribe button and like if you'd like to be part of our community, bringing all the spiritual content forward. And please let us know in the comments what else you would like us to publish for you. We're excited to hear. Thank you very much.